And now, last but not least, a proud warrior representing Manchester, England. After an outstanding amateur career, he turned pro in 1997. Now, he held the lesser known WBO light welterweight title for 4 years, but he was not lesser known. A huge fan in England and gaining so much attention for around the world, not only for his boxing style, his take on anyone at any time, but also for his mad fans, his mad ring entrance to Blue Moon wearing sky blue and white, representing his favorite football team. His career defining win came when he captured the IBF Junior Welterweight World title with a spectacular knockout of Hall of Famer Kosta Tszyu in the 11th round before a late night and extremely raucous crowd at the Manchester Arena. What a memory that was. He went on to capture the WBA belt and was named Ring Magazine's Fighter of the Year in 2005. He became a two-weight division world champion, earning the WBA welterweight title in 2006. He retired in 2012 with a record of 32 knockouts in his 45 wins, which included victories over boxing greats such as Kosta Tszyu, Freddie Pendleton, Vince Phillips, Jose Luis Castillo, Juan Lascano, and Paul Malignaggi, and others. He received the high honor of an MBE, recognizing his incredible popularity not only in the UK but around the world, and for his services to the sport in the modern category. It great gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, with a record of 45 wins, 3 losses, with 32 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the popular two-weight division world champion and now the International Boxing Hall of Famer, introducing the one and only Ricky the Hatman Hatton.
Only one. We don't want another one, do we? I just got to start with the thank yous, and I'll apologise now if I leave, anybody out. I mean, I think I speak for all the boxers. We worked extremely hard at what we did, but we needed a little bit of help along the way, and I got that, from my trainer, Billy Graham. My nutritionist, obviously, with a name called Ricky Fatten. My nutritionist earned his money. Yeah, and my coachman Mick Williamson, the presidents from the governing bodies I held up belts with all of your organisations, which obviously helped me along the way. The fans, the fans obviously meant the absolute world to me. They helped me over the finishing line so many times, and it's been great to spend the weekend and the week here, with the fans. You know what I mean? I always said my fan base was my greatest ever achievement, and so it's been great to spend the weekend with the fans. I'd like to thank Ed Brophy as well for your team, the way they've organised the whole weekend has been absolutely top draw. You should be very, very proud of yourself, Ed. Very, very good. But God, I had some wars, didn't I? You know what I mean? When I think back at the Kosta Tszyu fight, Floyd Mayweather fight, Manny Pacquiao fight, and my toughest fight, my divorce. Um, but, but I had some wonderful times early on in my career. You know what I mean? I was very fortunate to box on the undercard of a fighter. If you remember back in the day, he was the biggest name in British boxing at the time. He was called Prince Nassim Hamed. And I was very fortunate to box on a lot of his undercard. In my second professional fight, I got the chance to box at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing, when Nassim Hamed boxed Kevin Kelly. And that, for an 18-year-old, I only had one professional fight to my name. And you can imagine for an 18-year-old from the council estate in Manchester, where I was from, it was Madison Square Garden, you know what I mean? Incredible as an 18-year-old, and the ring announcer was Michael Buffer. You know what I mean? I was 18. Let's get ready to rumble, Michael Buffer. And George Foreman was commentating for HBO, which was fantastic because I bought a grill off him. But, and along the way, I ended up boxing at Atlantic City when Nassim Ahmed boxed Wayne McCulloch. And I also boxed in Detroit back in the day when I was coming through the home of the main hitman, I would like to call, Tommy Hearns. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I had some, wonderful, wonderful times, and I never thought when I first laced them gloves on as a 10-year-old on the council estate in Manchester that it would end up where it ended up. World titles. Las Vegas, City of Manchester Stadium, 55,000 seats were sold in 2 days with no opponent named. That is support, and I'll always be forever grateful for that. But I think the name when I the fight when I come to fruition was probably when I took the IBF title from Kosta Tszyu in Manchester. And that opened the gate to fights in the United States then, because I think, Kosta Tszyu was such a global figure in boxing. My popularity that enabled me to come over to the United States and fight. But Kosta Tszyu was a formidable champion. He was universally recognized as the undisputed. He was ranked number 2 pound for pound in the sport, and nobody gave me a chance. And Kosta Tszyu, as you know, he was a murderous right hand puncher. And I was always a body puncher. I was an attacker, and nobody gave me a chance against Kosta Tszyu. Because he had such punching power, they all used to box on the retreat away from him. To stay away from his power. But not this idiot. I decided to jump straight down his throat. I mean, and it worked in the end. But I mean, the fight came. The first 2 rounds, I was like a greyhound out of the traps. I started off the first 2 rounds, 100 mile an hour, and I won the first 2 rounds by a mile, I think. But then Kostya set into like a little bit of a rhythm, rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, when I was working and working and working. I was pressing, and I couldn't close the distance. He was picking me off, picking me off. I couldn't close the distance. But more importantly, I felt like the fight, I was losing rounds, and I felt like the fight was running away from me. So I come back to my corner at the end of 7 rounds. I said to my trainer, Billy Graham, I went, Billy, I said, I can't get him. I can't get him. I'm working so hard. I'm trying to close the distance. He's picking me off. I said, I'm losing this. He's putting too many rounds in the bank. Billy Graham said to me, just keep on at him, Ricky. Keep on at him. He's not worked at this higher tempo for years. Keep on at him. Eventually, he's going to break. I said, I hope so. I said, how am I doing anyway? He said, you're doing great. He's not laid a glove on you. I said, well, you better keep an eye on the referee. Someone's beating shit out of me in here. So, well, that's what I did. I kept my foot on the gas, and at the end of the 11th round, I was sat on my stool. I was finished. I spat my gum shield out, and I said to Billy Graham, I said, I'm done. I said, I'm done. I've got nothing left. And he said, listen, Ricky, he said, don't be telling me that. He said, this is what we've worked hard for. When we used to sit, when you was a 16-year-old, we used to sit on that step outside the gym in Manchester. We used to talk about being the best in the world, not being a world champion, being the best in the world, and going to Las Vegas and all the things your hero has done. He said, you know what, you'll never forgive yourself tomorrow if you took the towel in now, Ricky. Come on. And he's, it was the right words to say at the right time. So I just got one last bit of energy. And as I looked round my trainer, Billy Graham, saw the referee go like that, and Kosta Tszyu would quit on his stool. And yeah, it was an incredible night in Manchester. And it was at 2 o'clock in the morning. To coincide with Australian television and American television, so they could watch it at a decent hour in Australia and in America. At 2 o'clock in the morning, 20,000 fans, and people said, "Ricky, how do you think you're going to go on? You've never fought at 2 o'clock in the morning. How do you think you're going to adapt to fighting at 2 in the morning?" I said, "Everyone in Manchester fights at 2 in the morning." So, but But then my next fight, I won the catch of the WBA belt against Carlos Mauser. And then I wanted to do what my heroes have done. I wanted to try and become a two-weight world champion. Billy Graham, my trainer, advised me against it. He said, "You're not big enough, Ricky, to fight at welterweight. You're only 5'6". You're not big enough for the junior welterweight. Never mind a welterweight, but I said, well, that's where the bigger fights are, Billy. So I moved up to welterweight. I won the and £7. You know what I mean? A full £7 from junior welter to welterweight, a full £7. And I was always a bit of a bully as a fighter, but this is the first time. What I mean? I you know, I normally I could get in there, throw a couple of body shots, and nudge him out of the way, and Louis, he never moved. I went, I thought, Thought this is going to be a long night. Uh, but ironically, I knocked him down in the first 10 seconds, funny enough, even though he was so strong. I knocked him down in the first 10 seconds. I turned him, hit him with the left hook, and I'm walking to the neutral corner thinking, I'll be in the bar for about 9:30 at this rate. But anyway, he got up, and the fight went one way and then the other. And I think it was only that knockdown that won it for me. It was that close, but I became a two-weight world champion. And yeah, the fight with, obviously I got the chance then to fight the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world in Floyd Mayweather Jr. Didn't quite, go my way, but and I suffered badly with with the result. I had to come to terms. It was my first defeat, my first knockout defeat, so you can know. But I mean, if you're gonna get beat by someone like Floyd Mayweather. But what a fighter, Floyd Mayweather was. He just, I got him on the ropes, and I just couldn't hit him. I couldn't. He's just so good with his defense, his slip and slide, and I mean, got him on the. I couldn't hit him with an handful of confetti. You know, just so good defensively, and I feel very, very proud when you look at what he did after. He'll probably go down as arguably probably the greatest, of all, of all time. But it was an incredible occasion. 40,000 fans went to the United States, to Vegas, when I fought Floyd. 40,000 fans. I mean, the MGM only seats 16,000. 40,000 fans, and they were everywhere. There's only one Ricky Hatton. The hotels ran out of beer. The MGM Grand ran out of beer, which was crazy when you think, because I was in training. but, but, but yeah, I can always say I shared the ring, with the great Floyd Mayweather, and I moved up a weight in order to do it. But yeah, and then I got a chance to, I beat a guy called Polyman and RG in Las Vegas, and my performance was really, really good, and that gave me the chance to fight Manny Pacquiao for the #1 pound-for-pound title again. And did anyone see the Pacquiao fight? I didn't. but but, but no, but what can you say? I mean, by the time I got to the Pacquiao stage of my career, I never lived the life. I was 100% dedicated when I was in training, but when I was out of training, give up, Rick. You know what I mean? It was, I was known as Ricky Fat, and I always put weight on, took weight off, put weight on, took weight off. So that took an effect on my body over a period of time. You know what I mean? It couldn't have done me. Couldn't have done me any good. But and at the time there was a few miles on the clock with me because I was never a master of defense, hence the faith. So I think Manny was knocking out everyone at the time, wasn't he? To be honest with you, and when you fight like Ricky Hatton does, a few miles on the clock, not lived the life like I probably should have done. What happened. You get knocked out in 2 rounds, don't you? But no, I've had a wonderful, wonderful career. You know what I mean? And some of the people that I have met and the things I've done. I mean, like the kid from the council estate, to fight in Las Vegas. I think I speak for all the guys. We watched the greats fighting in Las Vegas over the years, didn't you? You know what I mean? It's Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Evander Holyfield, and that. To see your name up in lights was a big dream. For me, I'm walking down. The first fight I had was against Juan Urango in Las Vegas, and I'm walking down the strip, and the big screen comes up, and it had like Celine Dion, Tom Jones, Ricky Hatton. Tom Jones, actually, Tom Jones sung 2 national anthems twice for me. He sung the national anthem for the Floyd Mayweather fight, and he sung the national anthem for the Manny Pacquiao fight. It's not unusual. But, so no, I had some great times. I was awarded an MBE for my services to boxing. I've always, like to think I'd conducted myself in the manner, that fighters should do. I'd never slagged off an opponent. I always compliment my opponents. I always thank my fans, for the support that they've always given me. Even to this day, and even back then, I still do my charity work, and I'm an ambassador for mental health because it was well documented. My life fell to pieces a few years back. I struggled with coping with retirement, and I nearly wasn't here. I nearly took my own life, and so that's why I'm an ambassador of mental health. To obviously help save someone else's life. And I feel, I thank God that I never took my life, because what I would have missed out on, unbelievable. I wouldn't have seen my son Campbell turn professional. I'm a granddad now, granddad hitman. Yeah. I got two lovely little girls, that are coming on absolutely fantastic. And, I'm just receiving this. If I'd have took my own life, I wouldn't be here with you fine people and these great, great champions to receive my Hall of Fame ring today. So, yeah, I've had a great career. I've had a great life. It was never boring inside and outside the ring. But I feel very, very humbled, and I cried. I told everyone the other day, I cried when I went to the museum and I saw my plaque on the wall. I cried because it was two frames. It was 2 frames away from Roberto Duran. And Roberto Duran was my hero. And if you'd have turned around and said I'd have a plaque in the Hall of Fame 2 pictures away from Roberto Duran, I'd have said you were stupid. But anyway, Canastota, thanks for everyone. Thanks for looking after us. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Instead of me making another one, sit tight. I'm going to go find Jackie Callen. We can check her out. Just bear with me for a second. Today was the International Boxing Hall of Fame induction weekend. I wish I could have went. I caught the ceremonies, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put up Jackie Callen if we can find it. The legendary Jackie Callen.
Starring Meg Ryan.
I think we got
Jackie
it.
Callen was a former entertainment and rock music journalist. She was a publicist for the famed Bronx Boxing Gym from 1978.
I'm good now. We're good now, right? You can hear that.
Among the young boxers,
Paul Driscoll from Facebook. Salute.
Thomas Hitman Hearns, Milton McCrory, and she made her managerial debut in 1988 and soon signed a young middleweight by the name of James Toney. Jackie guided Toney to huge mega fights and 2 world championships. Among others, she also managed junior welterweight champion Bronco McCart and featherweight world champion Tom Boom Boom Johnson. Gifted with her personal business smarts and her ability to work hard in this male-dominated sport, she gained tremendous success and respect in the sport of boxing. Today, she makes history as the first female manager inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. It gives me great honor to welcome, in the non-participant category, Jackie Callen.
What lady doesn't like a little bling, right? Anyways, I'm so grateful to be up here. And when Ed Brophy called me in December to give me the good news that I was going to be inducted, I made a pact with myself not to cry. And I'm not going to, because big girls don't cry. They make champions. In 1978, I was a rock and roll entertainment journalist. Interviewed everybody from Elvis, Michael Jackson, Sinatra. And then I got the call to interview a young boxer coming out of Detroit named Thomas Hitman Hearns. That interview so impressed the late, great Emanuel Stewart that he hired me as his publicist for the very unknown Kronk Recreation Center in Detroit. He was determined to get that gym known around the world, and his fighters, which were growing by the day. His stable grew enormously. And I was so proud to do that. And for the 10 years that I learned and studied under Emanuel, I became quite knowledgeable of this sport, although the men in the sport didn't believe that. And in 1988, after 10 years, I decided that I could manage a fighter. So a young heavyweight out of Chicago named Bobby Hitz gave me the opportunity to manage him, which led to me opening and operating the only gym run by a woman in the United States. And I signed the likes of, like you heard, James Toney, Bronco McCart, Boom Boom Johnson, so many others, Pinklin Thomas, Scotty Buck, Tarek Salmasi, Damian Fuller, Lonnie Beasley. The list goes on and on. I was very blessed. And some girls in there too, because they fight also extremely well. And I was so grateful to have so many champions when there were so many men managers that were heavy world champions, and they weren't happy to see me doing it, but that's okay because I was happy and my fighters were happy. And then 12 years ago, a wonderful, gifted trainer out of Connecticut, Paul Sishan, introduced me to a young 14-year-old kid. He said, in 4 years, when he is 18 and turns pro, we're going to call you. And I said, please do. And he did. And I turned him pro. And some of you saw him Friday night. He's now 23 fights with no losses into his career, Mike Quan Williams. And I believe that he is going to be my next champion. And at the young age of 78, I have no intention of slowing down. And with the grace of God, I'm going to continue in the sport that I love more than anything. And my grateful and wonderful and fabulous family has been supportive of a very strange.
78 years old. Wow.
And my supportive friends who are here today, and all of you have made this all so worthwhile. I wouldn't change my life for anyone else's life. Although I want to add one thing. The movie they made was about as accurate as you portraying Michael Moore. But it was an honor anyways, and if it inspired any young women to go after their goal and believe in themselves, then it was worth it. So to all of you, thank you to Ed Brophy, thank you to the Hall of Fame, and from the bottom of my heart, I love all of you.
Let's keep it rolling, man. I think Ivan Calderon is coming up next. Anybody remembers a sensational flyweight boxer? Let's listen to the king over here.
Wow.
Puro, salute.
That deserves another round of applause just for that.
78 years old. Wow. 9 more years. I'll
When
be
Fred
catching up to him.
Sternberg enters a room,
But it's amazing
you know
what
it.
he is.
His dynamic presence, brilliant smile, and unforgettable laugh fills the room. Everybody loves Fred. Well, almost. You know, this is a boxing business. There's a lot of competition. It's tough, and people can be mean. But it cannot be denied that he is one of the most likable men in the sport of boxing, and one of the all-time great publicists of the sport as well. Establishing some of his expert business skills from nearby Syracuse University with degrees in advertising and political science, he honed his skills as an intern for the legendary publicist.
We're going to bring that up a little bit, man. I'm going to find Ivan Calderon's. We already saw Michael Moore's. We saw Jackie Callen's. We saw Ricky Hatton's. Let's see if we can go find. Well, okay, let's get to the ceremonies as they're going over here.
At lightweight and light welterweight divisions. In fact, she was awarded the MBE for her services to the sport in 2007.
You guys probably know
She
her
retired in
more than I do.
2008
Jane
with
Couch.
9 knockouts in her 28 victories in the ring and 1 huge triumph in the courts. And I dare say by way of knockout. It gives me great pleasure to welcome in the women's modern category Ladies and gentlemen, from Fleetwood, Lancashire, England, with a record of 28-11 with 9 knockouts, the acclaimed women boxing pioneer, the former lightweight and light welterweight champion of the world, introducing into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, the Fleetwood assassin, James.
Oh yeah. Chico was done earlier. I think I might have him in there, Pearl. I'll check it as soon as we get through here. I'll bring Chico on. I think I recorded that too.
All right.
Rascalot, salute my brother.
I wasn't allowed to box in England, so I had to come to America to box. And in them days, in the 90s, it was very little money. You know, there was very little opportunity. But I had people like Ann Wolf, Alicia Astley, and Anna Marie Torres too. You know, when I got here, even though the money wasn't great, we were still able to fight. And then
His daughter and his son.
sick of traveling to
And his
America
brother.
all the time.
Well, I'll get it for you, bro.
Having to fight for little or no money.
Sit tight.
Like
Give me some watch time.
girls.
Have a smoke.
Paved the way for the girls today, and the girls today need to pave the way for the girls coming in the future, because there's still a long way to go, you know, in women's boxing. And without people like me and Anna Marie and Ann Wolf and everyone, we all helped each other. We was
JD,
family,
salute.
because we had to fight each other and like fight for little or money. But when England wouldn't let me fight, even when I won the license, they still turned me down. They still said, no, we don't want women fighting in the UK. So I was fighting the media, the sports media in the UK, who just wouldn't give me a chance. So I owe everything that I've achieved to America.
I am gonna go find
Let me box here, and they'll let me be the person I
I'm gonna go find Ivan Calderon. See if I have him on here.
From the aisle in our small plane, who knew nothing about boxing but saw this injured fighter just barely struggling with pain. And the man just thought boxing was so brutal. And I just witnessed for the next 30 minutes, Diego Corrales talking to him with bright eyes through his groans of pains and half laughs, telling him and extolling him the greatness of boxing. It's the greatest sport you've ever seen. I love it. I would do this for my entire life. This is my choice. And that just showed what a hero he was. He was a great fighter and a great hero and a great proponent of the sport of boxing. We tragically lost Diego in 2007 as he died from injuries suffered in a motorcycle accident, young age of 29. With his family here, and perhaps he is looking down upon us, join me in welcoming him to the Hall of Fame with one last ring introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner from Las Vegas by way of Sacramento, California, he weighed in at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds with a record of 40 wins, 5 losses, and 33 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBO junior lightweight and unified lightweight champion of the world, introducing the International Boxing Hall of Famer, Diego Chico Corrales. My pleasure to introduce, to accept on behalf of their father. Please welcome daughter Delia Corrales and son Diego Corrales Jr.
Thank you. My father has an amazing legacy. He was known for his drive, his spirit, his passion, and his undeniable perseverance. This is a legacy that should inspire everybody. It inspires me. I am the daughter of a warrior, a great fighter. That's something that everybody should hold dear to their heart. You guys can all push down to one more round. No matter what, don't put your head down and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. This is an honor to hear all the amazing things everyone said, the encounters, the stories. It's like everyone has done with my dad. It's eye-opening how much of an impact he really had in the boxing world. And finally, he made it to the peak of a fighter's career. This is what every fighter dreams to be one of the best of the best, and glamorized as it. And this is what he's always wanted. This was the extent of his dreams. He would always say like, do you think I did enough? Do you think I made it? And now to see his face really plastered on the wall as all the greats, as to be known as one of the best in the industry, one of the roughest, the toughest in the sport. It's an honor. I'd like to thank all the work done by the International Boxing Hall of Fame. This experience has been amazing. Thanks to all the fighters, the fight fans, the boxing writers, everyone involved in this experience. It's been truly amazing. As everyone knows, he was a great fighter. I love him from the deep bottom of my heart. And you know what? He'll live on in every single fight he's ever done. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Diego Corrales' younger brother. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Diego Corrales and the story that he told all of us. He knew he was destined for greatness at a very early age. The first story he ever told me, when I was about 6 years old, we were watching one of my dad's old fight tapes, and Sugar Ray Leonard had just won the title. And he's watching the fight, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Stevan." That's how he used to call me. And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I'm gonna win that title one day." And I said, "Which one?" He said, "The red one." And years later, he won his first world title, and it was the IBF. Today, I would like to give him something, because he was not here to see the conclusion of his story. We had many conversations, and he used to tell me all the time, "I'm gonna make it to the Hall of Fame, Stevan. Gotta get there. I'm gonna be in that hall." Well, he did it again. And today, as we stand here, at the conclusion of his story, I would like to give him something. I would like to name the story that he started to tell on August 25th, 1977, at 11:07 in the morning. Lionheart. No one ever showed more of it. He left it in the ring. Thank you, Chico.
Let's keep it running, see who's next. Even though I watched it, I still can't remember. There was some.
And now we
some
move
good
to
ones.
recognize the living inductees into the International Boxing
Some
Hall of
interesting,
Fame. The
some not
recipients
so,
will
but
receive a custom gold ring symbolizing their status of Hall of Famers. Let me show you the ring now.
this is coronation in boxing. You know, it's watered down, and as subjective as it is,
I'll hold the ring steady here for a
achieve the
close-up on the
status
camera.
of
At the same time, I'll
induction into
read
the
to you
International
the
Boxing Hall of
certificate
Fame.
that they will receive.
I don't think it gets any bigger.
There have been
than that.
tens of thousands of people involved in the sport of professional boxing. Only a few are memorialized for their achievements in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. You are such a person. The ring presented to you today by the International Boxing Hall of Fame, Canastota, New York, is a one-of-a-kind gold ring designed and crafted by Jostens and individually personalized for you. Inductees into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, Canastota, New York, are determined by the criteria of the Hall of Fame and by the votes of the Boxing Writers Association of America and other boxing writers and historians throughout the world. Congratulations on the high regard in which you are held for this knowledgeable group. This ring symbolizes your accomplishments in the sport of boxing, and we hope you wear it with pride.
Sounds like a wedding.
Please come back often and honor us with your presence. This is the certificate that will be handed out by the president of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He's been here.
I know Johnston's. They're located a few miles from here. They made my high school ring. I think they make them all. Hall of Fame, high school rings, college rings. I mean, they were like huge back in the day. Probably still are, but
our first inductee into the living
let's
category
listen to the
joins us
legendary
in the
Jimmy Leonard.
non-participant category. These are those men and women who have made contributions to the sport apart from the roles as boxers or observers and based upon a candidate's achievements and contributions in their field. We begin with the great boxing trainer Kenny Adams. Kenny was a decorated U.S. Army veteran who was coach of the successful Army teams that captured several national titles. He is quoted to identify as the greatest moment in his boxing career as being one of the coaches of the great 1984 U.S. Olympic boxing team that won 11 medals, with 9 of them being gold. After the 1988 Olympics, he moved to Las Vegas and brought his training skills to the professional ranks. A strict disciplinarian with an emphasis on the mental aspect of the sport, he gained tremendous success with the professionals. Listen to this, having guided 26 world champions in their tenure, including the likes of Diego Corrales, Edwin Valero, Freddie Norwood, Frankie Lyles, Terrence Crawford, Johnny Tapia, Jorge Linares, and countless others. At the age of 83, he's still active in the sport, known for his transformative impact on the professional fighters and his pivotal role in the 1984 and 1988 U.S. Olympic boxing team, earning him iconic status. And now he has earned his place in boxing history as a Hall of Famer. Congratulations to the Hall of Fame in the non-participant category, Kenny Adams.
wait a minute, I got what I want to see on here. Did I one more that I want to bring up that I think you'll find very interesting. Right about here.
Ivan Calderon, like many other Hall of Famers, established a tremendous amateur career, representing Puerto Rico in the 2000 Olympic Games. Turning pro in 2001, in just his 16th pro fight, he captured the WBO minimum weight world title and registered an impressive 12 successful defenses before moving up in weight, then to capture the WBO light flyweight world title. He was undefeated for his first 35 fights in a row. He defended his light flyweight title 6 times, and in his career, he earned and deserved the reputation of one of boxing's most skilled ring technicians, which included his blazing speed both on offense and on defense as well. Retired as one of the all-time greats in 2012. His career in boxing is not yet over. His impact is still there. He's a highly involved coach and trainer of future world champions from Puerto Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros de Guaynabo, Puerto Rico, with a record of 35 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout, the incomparable WBO minimum weight and light flyweight champion of the world, the 2024 Hall of Famer, El Niño de Hierro, Ivan Iron Boy Calderon.
No, Vinny Paz didn't get in. I'm not even sure Vinny's
You're
still
gonna
on the
make this
ballot.
smaller. I can see me, right? First of all, I want to thank God. I want to tell him to give me the strength I could speak. I don't got my father, my mother. I wanted to be this in 2017 when they called me the first time because I had both of them with me. But
112 pounds. He must have been one tough
I got my
character.
wife. I got my daughter. I got my trainer. I got my promoter. I got my manager. I got the whole equipment of Iron Calderon who make today be this true. So I want to start saying, Paco, you made a mistake with me. Look where I am right now. Thanks for those words. Pintor, you made a mistake with me too. Thanks for the word, telling me that was a bump. Today I'm the world champion. And I gotta say, I'm glad that she never hear me talking about her, my older sister, that she's like a mother. She just passed MBE and won the case of cancer. She just passed through that. And I'm glad you were here with me. And my other sister, we all passed through a lot of things, a lot of personal moves. I had a lot of things in my career that I never thought I was going to be a world champion. I never thought I was going to have a career like I did. I was being a sport. I never liked the boxing. I never liked to see boxing. I saw boxing the first time when I saw Mike Tyson lost with Buster Douglas. That was the first time I saw boxing. And people don't think just because you signed late. I signed when I was 17 years old, amateur, and I turned pro when I was 26. And nobody thought I could make it. In 11 years of career, I did 18 defense, 2 titles, and today I'm the Hall of Fame. And today, for me to honor seeing the 3 president of the organization, WBC, WBO, WBA, all Latinos. So they're here like a family, and I like them to keep on working like a family for all these boxers. That's what we need. We need a family. All together, we could do a lot of things. And all the boxers that are here with me, the oldest boxers, like Eric Morales, I'm older than you, but you know that I like you. You know, you always been like a father to me. Ricky Hatton, thanks for all the advice that you gave me, the little things that we be hanging out. And all your women, I gotta say that they got more balls than us. They could really fight. They could really do the business. They could really do real boxing like the old time. I gotta respect all the boxers more. That was real boxing, the old time. Today is boxing, but not like the old time. So I gotta say, thanks for my mother, Carmen Iris Alvarado. If I don't say that, she's gonna kill me. Because she's not here with me today. My daughter, my sons, my wife. I just gotta say that today, I made my dream come true. I'm in the Hall of Fame. Thank you for everybody. Que viva Puerto Rico!
I think we'll let it roll. We'll do the Michael Mora one more time because it's on. I did it on an earlier broadcast, but
And now, last but not least, a proud warrior representing Manchester, England.
oh no, we already did Hatton. Sorry about that. And I did more earlier. So anyway, guys and gals, I'm gonna be back on at 8 o'clock. I do the Old Timers show tonight, and it's supposed to be a good one tonight, man. Over at J Hardcore, and maybe I'll share it here so we can watch it over here and all enjoy it. But in the meantime, thank you, cats, for coming in here, man. I appreciate it as always. Today, Hall of Fame weekend in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, regardless of what you think of the requirements now and who is involved in it. It is hallowed hall, man. It's hallowed hall. And the ghost of boxing past, the greatest boxers in the world, man. You can go back to the 1800s, man. They're all enshrined there. So that place is gives chills up my spine just thinking about that. Spending a night in there, man, will probably come out a boxing a walking encyclopedia. So this is Bruce Gass, and I'll see you a little bit later on, man. You know, we put the weed in and the wisdom comes out. So thanks again for coming by, and I'll see you all later, man. Peace out.